I'll bet that woke y'all up. Good morning. And welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of the South Hills, also known as Sunnyhill. It is a great joy to see you all here, so many of you here this morning, and mostly awake. You're more awake than 9 a.m. was, but that's to be expected. We are delighted that you are here. Our mission here at Sunnyhill is to create a more just and compassionate community within and beyond our walls. My name is Mary Jo Hennessy, and I serve as a worship associate for this congregation. If you are a newcomer to our congregation or someone who has traveled a very long way to get here, it is a great joy to see you. And you can click on the button that says New to Sunnyhill to receive more information about our congregation and receive our weekly email newsletter known as The Beat. It arrives in your email every Wednesday, just once, not endless amounts of spam, and it gives you all the information you need to know about what's going on here within our walls and how we work beyond our walls. And if you are joining us online today, special hello to you as well. Please say hello or good morning in the comments on Facebook or YouTube. We'd love to hear from you as well. And we welcome children of all ages to our service. And for quiet play, we have a children's area right here in the sanctuary. For louder activities, we have a nursery just outside in the corner entrance to the sanctuary. And we also have a comfort room accessible through the back hallway from which you can hear and see the service. And now a gentle reminder to everyone, let us disconnect those electronic devices, please, so we have no buzzing or ringing. We can all be here present together for an hour in this place at this time. Today's sermon is titled, Building Up in a Time of Tearing Down. At a time when despair is frequently our default mode and hope is often absent, does it make sense to even try to build something new? What are we building together in this congregation, and why is it important, especially now? Our opening words were written by Heidi Cottam. Let us be a faith that gathers, reaching for one another through the walls of hate others build. Ignorance and arrogance, the fear in city streets. Faith that a vision more holy and with more love. It's a faith that binds up the broken, cauterizes battle wounds with the balm of peace, sings longer and louder than the trumpets of war. Let us be that faith too. Let us be the ones who do not tread lightly in this world, but light it up with our love, who hold up the mirror of worth and dignity, who are the sanctuary others seek. But first, let us be a faith that worships together, here, this morning, in this space, at this moment. Let us be a faith. There are seats up front for those of you who came in the back and would like to sit down. And now may we all say together our words to light our chalice. We kindle our chalice as a symbol of our quest to light up the world with love.
Good morning. Please rise and bow to your spirit and join in singing our opening hymn, Blue Boat Home.
Still my dry and heart Good morning, friends. It is now our time for all ages. If there are any kiddos present that want to come up, now is your chance. Alrighty, friends. Good morning, everyone. I love to tinker with the tools in my garage. I've got screwdrivers and hammers. I've got saws and drills. When it comes to tools, I feel like Ariel in The Little Mermaid. I've got who's-its and what's-its aplenty. When you get older and you have to take care of things around the house, you get used to learning how to fix things. I've replaced garage doors and leaky pipes, unclogged drains, patched holes. Sometimes it's a dirty job, but knowing how to fix little things as they come up makes me feel strong and capable. The stage between something breaking and being fixed is so interesting to me because that's where the puzzle is. You have to learn the problem before you can fix the problem. Sometimes that takes longer than I'd like, and sometimes it means a few too many trips to the hardware store, but that's where so much of the learning really happens. I call this stage the messy middle. The messy middle is when you've noticed something's broken and you're trying to figure out what's wrong and how to fix it. Honestly, that middle part can be challenging and frustrating, but it's also where the magic happens. Because once you finally do the work, once you rebuild or repair or make something new, sometimes it's even better than it was before. And you know what else? It changes you too. You come out stronger for having done the hard work and smarter for what you've learned along the way. So next time you're trying to fix something, could be a broken toy or a tough homework problem, even a friendship after a fight, pay attention to the messy middle. That's the part that teaches you the most. And with that, we will head to our RE classes. Let's sing the kiddos out.
As you go, may joy surround you. As you go, go in peace. Know our love is with you always. As you go, as you go, as you go, may joy surround you. As you go, go in peace. Know our love is with you always. As you go, as you go.
Good morning. My name is Dan Naden, and I serve on the Sunnyhill board. In addition to our going to work on the budget, after many years, the board is in the process of revamping Sunnyhill's mission statement. In order that we can reflect the present members and the current situations going on. To do this, however, we need your input. Please be on the lookout for an email from the board with a link of a survey that we would like you all to take. As you take the survey, please keep in mind the following: who we are as a congregation, what we do on a daily basis together, and who benefits from our good works. Thank you.
morning. I am Jean Ferlin, a member of Sunnyhill's pastoral care team. A few words from a UU hymn by Shelley Jackson Denham. When I am frightened, will you reassure me? When I am angry, will you still embrace me? When I am troubled, will you listen to me? And when I am lonely, will you be my friend? So, if you find yourself frightened, angry, troubled, or lonely, and can use a listening ear, reach out to a member of the pastoral care team. For questions, contact Reverend Jim or a member of the team. You can submit a joy or sorrow on Sunnyhill's website or by filling out the form at the desk in the entrance room. After each joy or sorrow that I read, please respond by saying, "We hold you in our hearts." From Nikki Natali, a joy. Over the past few weeks, I've had the privilege of volunteering with the 9 a.m. RE class, which my son, Santino, has attended since April. It has quickly become the highlight of my week. I feel so blessed to be part of a congregation filled with children who are so special, unique, curious, and cool. To all the children here today, you are amazing. The future of Sunnyhill is truly bright. To Nikki and all of our RE teachers, we hold you in our heart. And a joy from Julie Ann Sullivan. She says so many joys with last week's voting results across the country. In addition to the big stories, the far-right group Moms for Liberty, who have challenged us here in Mount Lebanon as well, lost all 32 of their races. So much hope. All our voices matter. All our phone calls, postcards, emails, letters, and showing up in the streets matters. Keep it up and thank you. To Julianne and the citizens of Mount Lebanon, we hold you in our heart. And from Michael, Lean, and Wendy, have a joy. Miniature Dachshund Rescue, Vivi, arrived in our home and immediately claimed our home and our hearts. She is very happy with her new forever home. To Michaeline and Wendy and Vivi, we hold you in our hearts. As we listen to our musical meditation, we invite anyone who feels moved to do so to come forward, light a candle, place it in the sand, and return to your seat.
To show to going to light one more candle. This Tuesday is Veterans Day, which was originally established as Armistice Day in 1926 to honor members of the armed forces who were killed during World War I. The holiday was renamed in 1954 to honor all U.S. veterans. Many of us in this congregation are veterans or children or parents of veterans or have loved ones who have served or are currently serving. As I light this candle, let us take a moment of silence to honor all veterans and acknowledge the terrible hardships that many of them have experienced and the daunting challenges that they and their families continue to face. We pray that we as a nation will find ways to heal those who are wounded as we work together for peace and justice for all. Please join me in the spirit of meditation or prayer. Sometimes the noise of life, the sheer volume of noisiness all around us, can feel like too much, can feel like something that bears down on us like a heavy weight at a time when more than ever we need to feel lifted up. Sometimes it is hard even to hear ourselves think when shouting is all around, when discussion has been eclipsed by screaming with little or no regard for reason, with little or no regard for the common good or caring for one another. Sometimes we wonder if peace and quiet will ever return to our lives, to the life of our world, to the way we work as a people. We wonder if we will even be capable of recognizing healing quiet when it appears. And so it is that we pause now for a moment of silence to experience together something like the peace and quiet we yearn for in our lives and in the world. May we always strive for greater service, for love and justice. May we bind our hearts together in this great undertaking, and may we make room for peace and quiet to enter our lives. Amen. The absence of the choir in the second service has created kind of a hole up here. If anybody feels moved to do so, I would not object to anyone coming forward, although I know that puts people on the spot. One of the challenges of the 24-hour news cycle, once you allow yourself to get caught up in it, is the way it continuously drags you up and down emotionally, psychologically, and spiritually. If you read, watch, or listen to the news on a daily basis, you end up being led through all these highs and lows again and again, over and over, and it just gets exhausting. When the media corporations decided decades ago that news was entertainment rather than a public good or a public service, it entirely changed the way information is presented and the way we take it in and think about it. Everything is turned up now to a volume of 11 out of 10, both the good news and the bad news. But let's face it, it's mostly bad news because bad news is what sells. So one of the challenges we face is how to stay informed about what's going on in the world without letting ourselves be manipulated and beaten down by the 24-hour news cycle, even when occasionally the news is good. And such was the case for many of us this week as we saw some hopeful outcomes in the elections that took place this past Tuesday. We saw for the first time since last year's election some sign that the politics of cruelty, fear, and hatred might not actually represent the views of all Americans, or even a majority of Americans. And make no mistake, that is good news. It is something to feel joyful about and even something to celebrate at least a little bit. But this one little uptick in maybe choosing love over fear does not in any way mean that the tide has turned and we can just relax now because everything is going to be all right. Everything might well be all right in the end, but not if we rely on the mere glimmer of optimism generated by the results of a handful of elections on Tuesday. At the end of the day, there are still a lot of truly terrible things happening in our country and around the world. And many of these horrible things are being perpetrated in our name, in the name of the American people, even if we find the direction of the current administration truly abhorrent, as many, if not all, of us do. We still find ourselves in an era in which many important institutions and programs are being torn down violently. The social safety net that took decades to build is being torn into shreds as people in need lose food benefits, and more people lose or can no longer afford health insurance. Government, as the protector of the public good in the form of environmental and financial regulation, is being taken apart piece by piece. The right to due process is torn to pieces, and democracy itself is either on the chopping block or the auction block, depending on your perspective. And there are many more similar trends that I could name. It is in many ways a time of tearing down. But it is in the midst of this tearing down that we must get to work on building something new. We do not have the time or the luxury to spend every moment in fight, flight, or freeze mode. Fight? Yes, we do need to have a sense of fight, but not throwing punches merely for the sake of throwing punches. And now is absolutely not the time to run away or remain frozen, which is perhaps the biggest challenge we face. How not to stay frozen in the face of overwhelming challenges. I'm bringing all of this up for at least two reasons. The first is that next week we're having a congregational meeting with our Sunnyhill planning and design team and our architects from Rothschild Doino to discuss the next steps in our capital project process. Given the challenges and uncertainty that we're facing in our nation, not to mention personal challenges that I know many of us are facing, it is reasonable to ask, why now? Why get into all of this now rather than waiting for things to settle down a bit? The reason we are building now, or at least soon, as I've already hinted at, is that we cannot afford to wait. We don't know if or when things will settle down, and we don't know what that might even look like. And on a more literal level, we cannot afford to wait much longer because we've already raised millions of dollars for this project, thanks to the generosity of many of you in this room. And the longer we wait, the more prices will rise and the less we'll be able to build. But more than these prosaic concerns of future uncertainty and rising costs, we need to build now or soon because it is part of our response to the politics of cruelty, fear, and hatred that is currently tearing our country apart. The current administration wants to tear down any and all institutions that promote the common good, while they construct outrageous vanity projects like ballrooms and gold-gilded statuary. Part of our response needs to be tearing down the politics of fear and vanity and building up institutions and organizations like ours that promote the common good, that seek to bring restorative justice and an ethic of caring for others back into a place of prominence in our society. Honestly, until very recently, I never imagined that promoting the idea of caring for one another might be considered radical. What have we come to? Is this really who we want to be as a people? A country that scorns such basic ideas as human decency and human caring for one another? I don't think that is who most people want our country to be, and I think we got a little hint of this sentiment in this past week's elections. I think we saw a glimpse of voters rejecting the tearing down ethos of fear and hatred, and instead choosing an ethos of building up by trying to make things better, to work for the common good in concrete and actionable ways. But this is our task now: building institutions and forming partnerships and doing the hands-on work that ensures that everyone is cared for and treated with respect and dignity. It is a religious task because religion at its best is about binding together the broken, healing what is less than whole, and challenging the forces of empire that succeed by sowing hatred and division among people. Which brings me to my second reason for talking about building up in a time of tearing down. Beyond our own building project and what we can accomplish as a congregation, and I'll talk more about all of that next week, there is a larger reason to embark on the task of building something new at this time, and it has to do less with optimism and more to do with hope and, yes, something called faith. There is an important distinction between optimism and hope. And one of the best explanations for this difference comes from someone that we may not hear about a lot. And I am speaking now of the late Vice Admiral James Stockdale, and something that has been named for him, the Stockdale Paradox. Unfortunately, Stockdale might be best known to the American public as a laughably unsuccessful vice presidential candidate under Ross Perot in 1992. Stockdale failed miserably in a vice presidential debate that he had not known about until a week before the event, and his performance was famous or infamous for his opening statement, which began with the words, "Who am I? Why am I here?" But James Stockdale's backstory is fascinating, inspiring, and instructive, especially as we prepare to celebrate Veterans Day this week. Stockdale was one of the most highly decorated officers in the history of the United States Navy. When he was flying a mission over North Vietnam in 1965, his plane was struck by enemy fire. He ejected from the plane and parachuted into enemy territory. He landed in a small village where he was beaten and then taken prisoner. Stockdale was held as a prisoner of war for the next 7.5 years. Stockdale and his fellow POWs were held, shackled and chained in windowless cells that measured 3 feet by 9 feet, and they were strictly forbidden from communicating with each other. Years later, when asked about his coping strategy during his years as a prisoner, Stockdale said, "I never lost faith in the end of the story. I never doubted not only that I would get out, but also that I would prevail in the end and turn the experience into the defining event of my life, which in retrospect, I would not trade." When Stockdale was asked who didn't make it out of the POW camps, who didn't survive, he replied, "Oh, that's easy. The optimists. They were the ones who said, we're going to be out by Christmas, and Christmas would come and Christmas would go. Then they'd say, we're going to be out by Easter, and Easter would come and Easter would go, and then Thanksgiving, and then it would be Christmas again." And he said, "They died of a broken heart." Stockdale then added, "This is a very important lesson. You must never confuse faith that you will prevail in the end, which you can never afford to lose, with the discipline to confront the most brutal facts of your current reality, whatever they might be." And that is the Stockdale paradox. It's the ability to believe wholeheartedly that your perseverance will lead to a positive outcome, while at the same time knowing that things often do not turn out exactly the way you expect them to. People who are able to hold this tension successfully are the ones who tend to become resilient. People who are able to hold this tension are the people who understand the vital importance of building up in a time of tearing down, who understand that building something new at such a time as this is not a sign of foolish optimism, but is an act of hope, grounded in the faith that our efforts and our perseverance will make a difference in our community and in our world. But Stockdale's story is not about going it alone and toughing it out without help from anyone else. In fact, he probably would not have survived if he hadn't had the ongoing support of his fellow prisoners. Although communication among the POWs was forbidden, they developed a secret system of quietly tapping out Morse code with their fingernails on the walls and floors of their cells in order to converse and support one another. They shared everything with each other in this way. After a while, Stockdale said, our tapping ceased to be just an exchange of letters and words. It became conversation. Elation, sadness, humor, sarcasm, excitement, depression, it all came through. As is almost always the case, the power of shared vulnerability and community with others is what enables us to successfully navigate the tension between our often disappointed expectations and the sometimes brutal reality of our situation. Having expectations as opposed to fantasies is vitally important to positive outcomes for ourselves and for the world. But just as important is the ability, with the love and support of others, to rebound and readapt when things don't go as expected. What we build in congregations like ours are communities of resilience, places where we expect great things of ourselves while also supporting one another and bouncing back when those expectations are thwarted. And we've seen a lot of thwarting in our world lately, amid occasional glimpses of hope, as we saw in the elections this past week. When I made the decision to pursue ministry as my life's work, I never imagined myself a builder of anything. I saw myself as a musician and a poet and perhaps a kind of minor prophet, but never really a builder. But that is what I have been called to become. And builders are what we are all called to become at this time when everything good and decent is being torn down by cynical politicians and their cronies. I hope and pray that we will lean into our calling as builders, both on our own patch of land and in the larger world, which now more than ever needs resilient, faithful people who will build what needs to be built such that all are lifted up. May it be so. Amen.
Please rise again to join in singing the Fire of Commitment. From the light of days remembered, burns a beacon bright and clear, guiding hands and hearts and spirits into faith set free from fear. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise
It is time for our offering. And our Share the Plate beneficiary for the month of November is the Greater Pittsburgh Community Food Bank, whose mission is to ensure that anyone who needs a healthy meal can get one. The food bank provides food and meals to individuals and organizations in 11 counties in southwest Pennsylvania. With the current federal government shutdown, more than 2 million Pennsylvanians have lost their SNAP benefits, which is creating a crisis for the people in need. Supporting the food bank is more important now than ever. You can make a gift online on our website or by text at 412-324-3130. We'll also be passing our offering baskets for cash and checks in just a moment. And if you are writing a check, please make it out to UUCSH and put Share the Plate in the memo line. And as always, thank you for your generosity. Let us say together the words to extinguish our chalice, please. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Just a couple of quick announcements. For the next 3 Sundays, we will have one service at 10 a.m. Next Sunday, the 16th, after that 10 a.m. service, we will have the meeting with the architect and our Sunnyhill planning and design team. And then we start getting into the Thanksgiving holiday. So November 16th, 23rd, and 30th, only one service at 10 a.m. Also, I've been asked to say that the Sunnyhill Veterans Group will be getting together for a Veterans Day lunch this Tuesday at 11:30 a.m. at the Olive Garden, just down the road. If you need any more information about that, please see me. We'll close with these words. May we see all as it is, and may it be as we see it. May we be the ones to make it as it should be. For if not us, who? If not now, when? This is answering the cry of justice with the work of peace. This is redeeming the pain of history with the grace of wisdom. This is the work we are called to do, and this is the call we answer now. To be the barrier and the bridge, to be the living embodiment of our principles, to be about the work of building the beloved community, to be a people of intention and a people of conscience. Go in peace.